The following is a presentation of Muddy River News.
Phase one, we're approaching completion. We are planned to be completed by Friday this week, which is August 1st. We will be pulling barricades off the road, off Broadway, staging them along the sidewalk for our traffic control contractor to come through following next Monday to begin the setup of phase two, which is scheduled to start August 4th and planned to be completed the first part of October.
So if I understand correctly, that's on schedule. How did you do it?
Currently, yes, we are on schedule. It's been an extreme challenge. Everyone that knows that drives Broadway, how much of a cluster that is. It's difficult for our guys. There's some unforeseen conditions that we've encountered. One of the biggest challenges that we encountered on the job was getting our testing of our new line, the new water main that we put in to get it to pass. There's so much debris that gets brought up, the road being dusty and everything. We challenged getting a pass, and so people probably saw there for a period a couple weeks ago, probably a 2 to 3 week period of not much work taking place on Broadway, and that's because of those challenges we were having to get our water main to pass. We've got it to pass. It passed the bacterial testing, and we've pushed through getting our services done, and now we're pushing through the final completion to reach the finish line here by August 1st.
So did you create some buffer time in the schedule to allow for complications such as that?
We did, knowing going into this job that there were going to be some challenges, there were going to be some potential unforeseen conditions that we may encountered. Anytime you're dealing with 100-plus-year-old infrastructure, you never know what you're going to run into. And I'll be honest, we still have an unforeseen condition that that's keeping us from completing phase one. We're currently seeing some back pressure on the old main that we were supposed to abandon. There's potential that there's some mapping that may be unknown, or some line that may be feeding into the existing 20-inch main that is unaware of by the city and by us. So we've got some future investigation to do after we get 18th Street opened up before we can complete the cut and cap of the water main at 12th Street.
So phase one, which is between 12th and 24th on Broadway, will it be more lanes, or will it still be down to one lane in each direction?
We're going to have it completely opened up starting by the end of the day Friday. The investigation work that we have to do on the old main coming in the future after we already start phase two is to be determined. We don't know what kind of animal we're dealing with, what's feeding the old main. We've got to investigate it. There's potential that we may come back out during the month of September, October-ish, closing more lanes on Broadway. Again, closing 2 lanes, doing similar to what we've got. We may have more line stops that we have to put in to hopefully isolate where our problem area may be. But according to the drawings and everything that was scheduled to be completed on the project has been completed. We just see that there's something that's feeding the system that we're not aware of right now.
So when you say different mapping, that means of all the plans and sketches and maps that you worked with to plan your project, it didn't include this extra whatever it is.
Correct, right? The city has mapping of all their infrastructure within the city, and it's been kept track of for years, right? And there may be something that may have been done 50, 60 years ago that was never documented, that could be causing this issue that we're seeing right now.
And that's connected to the main, which is under what street?
Broadway.
Broadway.
Correct.
Okay. But the actual mains that you're putting in, they're not under Broadway, they're under the sidewalks now, correct?
I would say 75% of this main, 80% of the main has actually been put in Broadway, along the north side of the road. Anywhere where you see that the asphalt patch has been placed along Broadway, there's a new water main under there.
Okay, gotcha.
Yep.
So phase 2 now is interesting. What's the parameters of that, and what can drivers, residents, business owners expect?
So number one, I'd just like to ask all third-party drivers, people that are needing to drive through Broadway, to do your best to stay off of Broadway. It's challenging enough to have working on an extremely busy street, let alone having disrespectful people drive through our construction zone. So we ask for people to respect the guys that are working out there. They're working very hard. Our goal is to get off the road as soon as we possibly can, but it takes everybody within the community to help us do that.
And so phase 2 is 24th to 30th?
Correct.
And what would be different about it if somebody said, well, I drove through phase 1 and I managed just fine? What makes phase 2 different?
So phase 2 it's going to be very similar to phase 1. Right out the gate though on phase 2, similar to what we have now, we've got 18th Street closed. We're going to be closing 24th Street. We're expecting about a 2-week closure there on 24th Street, just south of Broadway. We've got a little bit of work on the north side of Broadway to complete a new water service for Prairie Farms. But as Reese Construction will be doing that, we've also partnered again with Lavadier. Lavadier Construction Group will be starting working from 30th Street, working their way west to meet us at 27th Street. But this water main, very similar to the traffic control setup that we've had on phase 1. Instead of being on the north side of the road, will be on the south side of the road.
And eastbound traffic will have to get used to traveling in the turn lane.
Correct.
So that would be an adjustment. So I guess I understand why you're asking folks to just stay off. Also, the access to businesses on the south side. You won't be able to turn onto their business lots from Broadway.
So we had a joint meeting, town hall meeting with all the business owners between this section, 24th and 30th on Broadway, probably 2 to 3 weeks ago, explaining in detail how our traffic control was going to affect their business. We wanted to be upfront with them, knowing how impactful this project is to them just on their everyday business. And so we felt that went extremely well. That was very well received by all the businesses. And we're looking to, be upfront and honest with them to just hopefully allow them enough time to plan how they're going to handle the project during the project timeline. So most businesses along that south side of Broadway have alternative access to get in there. We are going to leave some of the driveways open, but clearly as we're progressing water main from point A to point B, there will be a time period that will be impacting their access to their driveway. We ask that if the public needs to access these businesses, look at alternative routes to get in there. Try to stay off of Broadway, but we do understand there are a few businesses down through there, like Dunkin' Donuts, like the automotive repair center that are on the south side that have some special needs that only have one way in and one way out. So we got to be cognizant of that and communicate with them throughout the whole process and try to be planned far enough in advance to be giving them enough upfront warning that, hey, we're coming in 2 days and be running water main and you'll be losing your drive access.
When will there be no orange barrels on Broadway?
The plan will be first part to middle of October.
And then will Illinois DOT come in and give it a nice new repaving, or is that still in the...
That project is actually currently in the bidding phase right now. It hits the August letting, which is August 1st this week. It goes into bid, or goes in. Our proposal will go in. So the plan will be is once this water main project completes, you're probably going to start seeing concrete crews on Broadway. So construction on Broadway is going to continue for the next couple years. But at the end product, the end result is that we've got a compliant corner with all ADA regulation corners for all the corners of the streets on Broadway, and a newly paved Broadway.
Any cost overruns, or is it staying on budget?
As of right now, we're currently tracking on budget. Pending what happens with the investigation that we have to do to find where this water is coming into the old main will determine where we end up. But we project that we will be on budget or just below the budget that was provided to the city when the job was let.
I'd like to revisit a comment you made earlier about please respecting the workers. Can you give me a sense what is going on out there?
I mean, it's there's some disrespectful people that will drive up and down Broadway multiple times a day yelling at our workers to get to work, and I witnessed as I was speaking with one of our construction supervisors doing some planning for the next couple weeks. We watched a gentleman drive into our construction zone, drive into the actual lane closure, and run over barrels directly right in front of us deliberately. We've seen people on motorcycles try to pass other cars and drive within the construction zone. And I just want people to be aware that those barrels, the lane closure is there for a reason. There may be holes that they're unaware of in there. And heaven forbid somebody on a motorcycle, somebody in a vehicle, drive off into one of those holes at a certain pace or speed, there could be some serious injury that could be caused. So be cognizant of that, right? We do this to protect the public. And we want the public to be respectful of our workers because our workers are doing this day in, day out to provide for their families. And that's all they want to do is be able to go home every night and be home with their families. So safety is our utmost important thing that we worry about day in, day out. And our biggest hazard on Broadway is the public.
Muddy River News. Our home, our news.